as a player, skill, ball and hoop, footwork, and the like. So that this man is transformed by his experience with his daughters into becoming a strong advocate for women, for understanding, because his girl is the female mambacita. He wants to create a lane where she is able to operate, right? And he was telling his friend Jimmy Kimmel on his show that when people come up to Kobe, oh, you got to have a son. You got to have a son to carry on your legacy. She said, no, I got this. I'm going to be the mambacita, which is why the devastation of her death with her father. And then I just saw Draymond Green, the athlete, a tremendous world-class athlete who plays for the Golden State Warriors, imagining, he said, as a father and I have daughters, I know what he was doing. I wasn't there, but I know he was telling her everything's going to be all right. He was telling her, in his mind, he knew it wasn't, but he was telling her because his role and responsibility as a loving, caring father was to do that. So there are many ways in which patriarchy is a good and powerful thing. The problem is the unlimited exercise of patriarchy has hurt so many other figures, peoples, communities, because it has enshrined the patriarch as the exclusive preserve of both authority, respect, and that which is to be emulated. And so the problem with patriarchy at that level is that it wants to be exclusive and determinative, right? At best, right, what feminism says is that there are permissions given to women to exercise the same sort of authority and self-recognition as men observe. Now, if you're in a relationship with a feminist, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have arguments. It means that men don't automatically get the last word. Now, I don't know in what culture men have ever gotten the last word, but that's another story, right? Even here, as Professor Williams points out, who's really in control, right? The mama's making the decision. The father's like, look, I'm just trying to do what I can do. Let me go pray. Let me do some other stuff. I got a better chance with God than a lot of this woman right here, right? We know, right? We know where the power's residing. So what feminism tries to do is to take that intuition and make it a principle of social order. So that, in other words, what we know to be the case, now we try to elevate it to a level where women are given the same amount of respect and dignity to make up their minds, to fail, to not be perfect in the way that men are. So yeah, we can see, and I'll end by saying this. So it's not a knock on men. Patriarchy hurts men, right? How we treat each other, how we disregard each other, how we compete with each other over false idols and vapid gods, right? But we live in a country now where a guy is right up the road here, right? As America's father, I would say that he's a predatory, abusive patriarch with no recognition of the fact that we are part of a family that should be loving and adoring. He wants to create walls. He wants to keep people out. He wants to determine who is the legitimate and rightful recipient of rights. That patriarchy from within domestic space that is transformed and then transposed onto national political space, we can see it more clearly of what its devastating consequences are. So yes, we want fathers, but loving ones, noble ones who understand that they are part of a larger fabric of kinship that allows the beauty and the dignity of every person involved in their family to flow. And that to me was the central issue. To what degree are we going to allow the ability of this young lady to determine her life, to play a role in the choices she makes, even as we respect the culture that has produced her, that has even provided the backdrop for the tension, and how it can be peacefully and non-violently resolved. So there's a lot more to be said, and the brilliant film did it, but that's what I would say all the time.